Good. Stand by.
Okay, I think we are live. Good morning and welcome to the trade setup right here on BloombergQuint Live. I know we are a couple of days. We've come in a bit late, but we'll try and correct that for sure and be with you at 8 a.m. every day starting tomorrow. But let's talk about the trade setup nevertheless and what should one watch out for. Well, I think the volatile week continues because we were up and about day before yesterday. In yesterday's session, the Dow Jones index came off. So uh, we had a bit of a pullback move in trade yesterday, and I think one of the reasons, and I'll get to that in a bit, was the Moderna vaccine study, and I'll get to that in a bit. But first, the indices. So Dow Jones came off. Asia is having a bit of a mixed cues, if you will, in the session today. So it's not been the best of starts for the Asian indices. I think there's some key Chinese data that is awaited. And until that comes out, maybe the Asian indices also would be on tenterhooks. The SGX Nifty, for its part, is showing a start which could be marginally in the green. So you have to bear in mind the SGX Nifty in futures indicates it was indicating a lower start earlier, currently about 0.31%, and the Dow futures have risen after Tuesday's loss as well. So it's mixed cues for sure, and part reason of that could well be the Moderna vaccine study which got floated around. The reports suggested that that study did not produce enough critical data to assess its success. And I think anything related to coronavirus, when the world is built in some hopes and the hopes get dashed, don't quite work out. The other thing is the India picture. Now, the India picture is a bit of an issue simply because the total number of cases across the 1 lakh mark on Tuesday, and the daily recovery rates have dropped for a second consecutive day, though they're still above the 2000 mark. So that's the other thing that you got to monitor. One is Moderna vaccine success reports, and two is the India picture, which is that the total number of cases have crossed the 1 lakh mark, and the daily recovery rates have dropped for a second consecutive day. And that should keep the momentum in India under a bit of check. Now, it's important to see whether the Nifty manages to hold the 8800, 8750 levels in today's session. Yesterday, remember, while we started off well, then again shot a bit of a bounce, the Bank Nifty cracked in the second half of trade. And I don't quite know if that would be the picture that gets repeated today as well. The Bajaj Finance numbers might actually give a bit of a support to the sentiment around financials. But I reckon that Reliance, HDFC Bank, and TCS, these three could well determine the Nifty direction for today and the near term. If indeed the beaten down stocks, which is Reliance and HDFC Bank, show a bit of a pullback, then we might actually have a good fight on our hands. However, the FI flows continue to be negative. So yesterday too, there was a bit of a sell number in the 1328 crores. The previous 2 days, we've seen some 1,500 and 2,300 crores sell numbers as well. So the FI selling continues in the session. It's a more action-packed day on the earnings front than the previous few because we have three nifty names, by the way, the likes of Bajaj Auto, Dr. Reddy's Lab, and Ultronic Cement coming out with numbers. And a clutch of mid-cap names, including Jubilant Foodworks, which will come out with numbers as well. But I must say that while the overall picture remains a bit volatile and maybe towards the bearish side, on stocks, except for one or two, the ones that we'll watch out for at 9 a.m. all have positive news to themselves. So firstly, Reliance. Macquarie has downgraded the stock to an underperform rating from a neutral rating and a target price of 1195. They're essentially questioning whether the transition from a B2B company to a consumer company it will take a really long time, and therefore should investors wait be too long, and therefore that amongst other things are the rationale for the downgrade in Reliance. But as I said, the stocks that I'm watching out for at 9 a.m. or 9:15 a.m. is one negative, which is Reliance, but a lot of others which are positive. So Bajaj Finance, the Q4 profit was down 20%, but the internals were very, very strong. The moratorium is only at 27% of the loan book, and that is quite stunning. The ILNFS and TARI exposures have been fully written off already, and they have said that 72% of the borrowers are in the green and the orange zone and not in the red zone. So that is actually positive for Bajaj Finance. I think the brokerage notes today too are largely positive. And why not? I think the performance has been good. The valuation comfort is certainly there. Let's wait and watch what Bajaj Finance does. By the way, also watch out for what Bajaj Finserv would do if finance would to do well. Apollo Tires, the Q4 EBITDA numbers were at 475 crores versus the Bloomberg estimates of 359 crores. The margins came in at 13.15% versus expectations, Bloomberg estimates of 9.8%. So maybe expect this stock to do very well in the session today. The Axis Capital note on L&T Infotech is pretty interesting because they say that the company's put in an exceptional performance in a tough macro environment. The adjusted EBIT margins expanded 100 basis points according to Axis, led by revenue growth and INR depreciation. And according to Axis, two large deal wins with a total contract value of 100 million adds some visibility for L&T Infotech. Do watch out for this one as well. Vodafone Idea, the big mover in trade yesterday, enters the FNO ban, and therefore, even if you thought that you wanted to take a short trade on Vodafone Idea, you won't be able to take it, and that's why this stock comes in focus. Very interesting mover yesterday. Let's see if there are some more fun and games in Vodafone Idea in the session today. Aviation Minister has said that they are ready to resume flights any day, and that should keep both Indigo and SpiceJet in focus. Very volatile stocks. The last few days they have come under a bit of a downtick. Let's wait and watch. In today's session, we might see a bit of an uptick for Interglobe Aviation or SpiceJet or no. Last but not the least, I would want to leave you with a couple of global COVID-19 related news flows. So Qantas is saying that fares could jump ninefold with social distancing. They are essentially saying that social distancing on flights is not possible. They are saying that fares could jump ninefold if that is the case. Imagine you having to fly to Delhi from Mumbai or Mumbai to Delhi instead of 8,000 or 72,000. Not saying that will happen, but this is what one of the airlines is saying. But it's an interesting story on BloombergQuint.com. Last but not the least, another story that I urge all of you to go and read again on our website BloombergQuint.com is a study which says that COVID-19 patients testing positive after having recovered uh, are not infectious. And that is positive news, viewers. I mean, we'll get to that at some stage, right? That somebody will contract a coronavirus, then recover, and then again have a coronavirus impact, but they are not infectious apparently as per this study. And that is actually good news too. Again, a story on our website, BloombergQuint.com. Do try and read more about this. That's all that we have on Trade Setup today. Have a great trading day.